Hey guys, Chart Stoppers back with another video. In this channel we take a look at different stocks and map out their key support and resistance areas on their chart. It's important to know these areas before you buy any stock, and it's also important to know what kind of a trend a stock is in before you buy into it. Support and resistance is one of the most important things you should know about a stock before you either buy or sell. And also, if you're doing any day trading, swing trading, or options trading, you're definitely going to want to get familiar with support and resistance and this channel. Just to let you know, I'm not a financial expert. These videos are for educational purposes only, but I am here to point out key factors on the charts which do impact the price action of a stock. I also provided a link in the description for Webull. You could use that to start an account. You'll get 2 free stocks. And I also provided a link for Robinhood. You could use that to start an account and you'll get 1 free stock. And just to let you know, we will be doing 3 videos per week on 3 different stocks. So if you have a recommendation for a video, leave a comment below and I will try to get to it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and have your notifications on so you don't miss out on any new content here. Okay, so let's get into the market today. Today is September 8th, 2021. It is Wednesday, and you can see here the S&P 500 is down today about 0.25%. The Dow is also down around 0.3% today, and the NASDAQ is down 0.65%. However, it was down over 1% earlier in the day. We are coming off of those lows, and hopefully we continue on the uptrend here. All right, so let's get into the stock I wanted to take a look at today. I got a request from a viewer to go over Sunworks, ticker symbol SUNW. Today, Sunworks is currently trading at $6.90 at the time of this recording. It is down 36 cents today, which is the equivalent of around 5%. In the past week, this stock is down over 9.5%, around almost 10%. In the past month, it's down 17.75%. So not very good so far with this one. And in the past 3 months, this stock is down almost 31%. In the past year, however, it is still up over 1,000%. So you can see from the chart here, it's been a very volatile past couple months here as this stock's been in a downtrend. But you could see that if you would have bought in around September of last year, so just, almost exactly a year ago, this thing was trading under $1 here, all right? And you could see the low right here of 36 cents, and that was back in May of 2020. And this went from under $1 all the way up to almost $30 here. We hit a 52-week high of $29.37, and we hit that on January 25th of earlier this year. And the stock pretty much just went straight up. You could see there's not really any consolidation once you got past around, let's see here, it looks like $7. Once you got past $7, it pretty much was just on a tear. You don't see many red candles here when it was going straight up, so that's how you know there was no consolidation. It left a lot of gaps behind. So, you can always tell when a stock chart looks like this going straight up, it's going to come back down and it's going to consolidate in the areas it did not on the way up. So always keep that in mind when if you're trading or if you're holding a stock that has a big run up like this and leaves gaps behind or does not consolidate on the way up. Just remember that it's always probably going to come back, fill those gaps in, and consolidate in those areas it did not on the way up. So looking at our chart here, you could see I have my first line around $24.35. That's where we need to get back up to. We need to close above there and we need to hold above there if we want to see this thing move on to new highs. It's never been able to close above that area. So if we want to get back to this level up here around $30, we're going to need to see this break above that $24.35 area and close above there. Okay. So going down our chart, our first support level was around $17.50. You could see after the big run up, there was really no consolidation in that area, but on the way down, we did have a little consolidation here. You even had a bounce off of that area and a little bit of a recovery before falling and breaking through that support there. So we'll keep that area in mind for resistance. You could see it already tried to test that back in April, coming off the the March lows here before it really took a dive. But so that might act as resistance going forward, $17.50. So keep that price area in mind if you're trading this stock in the future if it does get back up to those levels. All right, going down our chart here, you could see around $11.80 is where I have another support area. On the way down, we had a little bit of consolidation along that area right there, around $11.80. You could see we had a bounce off of it, a little bit of a recovery, and then another sell-off. So we did, that did hold up as support for a while before we dipped below there around the middle of April here, all right? And then we dropped to our next support area, which is currently where we're at right now. And our next support area is at $7 here. You could see that it looked like we bottomed out here in May, and we did have a nice little recovery. We got on a little bit of an uptrend off of that support level, only to trade up to that resistance level around $11.80 before getting rejected off of that resistance and coming back down to this support area at $7. And we've been consolidating along this line for a while now, ever since around the middle of July here. It looks like, we've just had a slow downtrend here, consolidating along our $7 support level. And it looks like just today we have fallen below that $7 area, and we actually reached a low today of $6.75. So keep that in mind for the rest of the day here. We'll be watching to see if this thing can get back above $7 and close above there. Otherwise, it might look like we might be headed down to our next support area, which is right here marked on our chart around $4.65. You could see that was former resistance. This was back in September of last year when it did make that initial run up. Okay, it was former resistance, and now that will act as support if we do break this $7 support. Okay, so now looking at our chart here, one of the things I want to point out is we are currently trading below our 200-day moving average, which is here in the yellow. We lost that back in the middle of July here, and we haven't been able to recover that. All right, so once we lost that 200-day was acting as resistance as we went back up to retest it right here, you could see. And also we're below our 50-day moving average here in the dark blue. So once we lost that, also in the middle of July, right around the same time as we lost our 200-day moving average, that also is acting as resistance, as we've tried to test that a couple times here, once in middle of July and the next time in the middle of August, and both times we got rejected off of that. Also, we are also trading below our 21-day moving average, which is here in the light blue. You could see that is also acting as resistance here. So all of these moving averages are acting as resistance right now, and it's going to be very important that we recapture, one of these, at least this 21-day, to get some momentum to go up and get that 50-day also. And you could see here the 50-day crossed below that 200-day moving average here on the daily chart. So that usually means more downside to come. And you could see once it did cross that, the stock went from around $9.50 to currently where we are now to a low of $6.75 here. So keep that in mind if you're trading in the future. Once you see that 50-day cross below that 200-day, usually it means more downside to come if you are looking to enter a short position. Okay, so let's switch over to our weekly chart. You'll get a clearer picture of what's going on here and the trend that we're on. Also, I have this green trend line. You could see we were following this trend line ever since back in October of last year. So pretty much a year we followed this trend line, and we ultimately broke that in the middle of July, right around the time we broke our 50-day moving average on the daily chart. So now that will act as resistance. That's just there to represent the moving averages. You could see it does follow my 50-period moving average on my weekly chart here, which is here in the blue. My trend line closely follows that, and my downtrend line in the red here closely follows my 21-period moving average on the weekly chart. So The 21 period moving average is acting as resistance here on our weekly chart. You could clearly see that this light blue line is acting as resistance ever since around June here. Actually, it goes back to around April when we fell below there. So when we fell below this 21 period moving average on the weekly chart back in April, that has been acting as resistance ever since. And our 50 period moving average was acting as support up until around the middle of July when we lost that. So now it might be acting as resistance on our weekly chart. We'll have to see. We haven't really tested it. You could see we did test it right here in August, but we'll have to look for a retest for a more recent picture of if that will act as resistance. Okay, so let's go back to the daily chart here. So I just wanted to reiterate, this 50-day moving average on our daily chart is acting as resistance. I also have my 8-period moving average here on the daily chart, and you can see we're trading below that also. That's been acting as resistance for around the past week here. We haven't been able to get above that since around the end of August here. So keep an eye on that for some momentum if we do get back above this 8-period moving average in the white. That might be the start of some momentum, but it looks like since we, are trading below our support here at $7, if we don't recapture that support, that might turn into resistance also. So you might be looking at this stock trading down to this 465 level down here before making a bounce and ultimately a reversal. I hope that doesn't happen for the people that are long and are watching this video that are long-term holders. But, we could always see this thing recover in the next couple days, have a nice little breakout, and finally break out of this downtrend, and then we won't be looking at that anymore. So keep an eye on this in the next couple days because you could see this trend line intersects with our support here. So it's either going to have to hold this support in the next couple days. It looks like about the middle of September here. It's either going to have to get back above this support and break out of this downtrend, or it is going to continue to follow this downtrend here all the way down probably to our next support line at 465. So we'll keep an eye on that in the next couple weeks. That's about it for this one. If you guys have any questions or comments, leave them down below. If you like the video, make sure you hit that like button. It really helps me out, really helps out the channel. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel also and have your notifications on so you don't miss out on more content here. I want to thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next time on Chart Stoppers.